We're here today at Stillife. I'm here with the manager, Jay. Jay's gonna help me do something that I wanna show all the bar owners out there that they can do with Wisk. So one of the really neat things is, apart from doing your weekly inventory in half the time, we now have a way for you to do what we call a partial inventory. So we're gonna do a real life test here. They're closed right now. It's Thursday. They're opening tonight. We're gonna do real sales, and we're gonna come back tomorrow and do another partial inventory. So real simply put, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up the mobile app. I'm gonna click on partial inventories. I asked Jay what are some of his top sellers. There were a couple of tequilas, vodkas, but one of the top sellers was a gin, and it was Hendrick's gin. So what we're gonna do today is just count the Hendrick's gin. The key is to count it everywhere. So Jay is gonna help me by just bringing all the Hendrick's gin over here. I'm gonna count all the Hendrick's gin. We're gonna leave, we're gonna come back tomorrow after sales, and we're gonna count the Hendrick's gin again, and we're gonna get a real-time variance report of how much Hendrick's they lost because we're integrated directly with their point of sale. So without further ado, Jay, if you wanna grab the Hendrick's,
Gotcha.
bring it all here. We got the Bluetooth scale, and what's really neat is you're able to do a partial inventory without affecting that full inventory. So you can continue to do your weeklies, and as often or as frequently as you want, you can do a subset of things you want to spot check. For today's example, we're picking the Hendrick's. You can't see through it, so it's hard to estimate. That's why we got our Bluetooth scale. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be one product. You can say, hey, I want to do these top 5 products or these top 10 products. So without further ado, I'm going to go into partial inventory. I'm going to start a new one, and I'm going to call it Hendrick's. Again, you can name it anything you want. It could be called top 5. So I'm going to call it Hendrick's. In real life, obviously, you're just going to go around your bar and just count all your Hendrick's. In this case, to make it easier, Jay's helping me and just brought all the Hendrick's from the 2 bars and the stock room all over here, so I can just count it. So barcode pulls up. I'm going to turn on the scale. All I'm going to do is point this to the barcode. It's going to pull up the product, place it on the scale, and it tells me that there's 6.6 ounces left. It's the beauty about the Bluetooth scale, because you can't see through. So literally all I'm going to do is count each one. So submit that. I'm going to scan the next one. This one feels pretty full. Okay, this barcode is gone, so I'll just scan. It's the same product. I'll just scan this one. But this product put on the scale, this one should be pretty close to full. Yeah, there you go. 1 ounce missing. So almost full. Number 5. 6.4 ounces left. So right now, I just counted all the Hendrick's in this bar for today. They're receiving more another day, but right now this is what they have. Tonight they're gonna be open for sales. They're gonna be punching sales as usual, selling cocktails, doing their thing. Wisk is automatically gonna pull the sales data using the recipes. And tomorrow, we're gonna count what's left and get a real-time variance report to see what they're losing. So last step, review. I click save, save. This partial inventory is done. Tomorrow we're gonna come back, we're gonna click on the Hendrick's, and we're gonna do it again. We're here at Stillife, day 2. If you remember, we were here yesterday. We did a partial inventory with Wisk of a certain brand of gin, happened to be Hendrick's. Took literally 2-3 minutes. We're back here today after they were open last night to do another partial inventory, and we're gonna see how much gin was lost in one single night on one single brand. Let's go check it out. So Jay, super excited to be back here today. So tell me, first of all, how was last night?
Last night was great. Way busier than we expected. Music was on point. We had people early. They stayed all the way to the end. Awesome night.
Beautiful, beautiful. So obviously yesterday we picked Hendrick's as an example. It wasn't to pick on Hendrick's. It was just because we figured it's a good example. It's because you can't see through it. And so we did a quick partial inventory. We got exactly what we have in stock in the whole venue of Hendrick's. You guys had your night yesterday, which sounded awesome. And then today, we're back here to count. So as soon as I'm done counting this, which will take all of, 30 seconds, we'll get a variance report, and we'll look at how much Hendrick's was lost based on your sales data. So
Amazing.
Let's give it a shot. So I'm gonna go back into Hendrick's. I'm gonna start a new count, and all I'm gonna do is turn on the scale. I'm gonna count each one real quick. There you go. Number 1, done. Number 2, done. There's 8 ounces in that one. Number 3, barcode scratch. I'll scan this. Number 3, also 8 ounces, 8.7. Number 4, also scratch. Let me scan this. So here we go. Number 4, 18 ounces, 18.8 ounces. And last but not least, this one feels pretty full, or almost full. It's at 20 ounces. So, as you saw, that took all of 30 seconds. I did Hendrick's. I'm going to submit this. So yesterday we started off, if you adds everything up, 3.3 bottles, all those partials we had, plus some full ones. Today it's telling us we counted 2.5 in terms of liquid, right? So there's 5 bottles, but if you add all the liquid, it would equal 2.5 bottles. So that means there was a consumption of 0.79. In other words, yesterday you consumed about 80% of one bottle. Now I know you don't just sell this by the bottle, you sell it in some cocktails. What's an example of maybe a cocktail you use this guy in?
We could use it in a Negroni.
Negroni, okay?
We could use it in just a simple gin tonic.
Got it. Perfect. So I just submitted it. We're now going to get the report emailed to us. So we'll look at that in a second, and we'll see how much Hendricks were short.
I'm really excited to see the results of yesterday's variance reports.
So Jay, good news, we got the report. So what's really neat is as soon as we were done this, I get an email report, or you would get one, but I got it in this time, with the inventory of the Hendricks, the consumption, in other words, how much Hendricks was used, and then the variance, which compares the usage with the sales that you punched in. So whether you sold a shot of Hendricks, a cocktail with Hendricks, a Negroni with Hendricks, doesn't matter, it's adding it all from your POS and it compares those two. So we zoom in here, right? And today we only did Hendricks, but you can do as many products as you want. We started off yesterday, when we counted everything, it equated to 3.3 bottles worth of Hendricks. Today, came back, did a quick count, and it equated to all this 2.5 bottles of Hendricks. So very simple math. If we had 3.3, today we have 2.5. It's telling us we consumed 0.79 of a bottle. In other words, about 80% of a bottle, so if you imagine this, was used yesterday. That's without even knowing the sales. We know we used 80%. But because it's connected to your POS, it will then convert all the cocktails and everything sold, and it's saying you sold 0.53, so 53% of a bottle, yesterday. So what does that mean? If you sold 53%, you collected money for 53, but you actually gave away 80. So there's a 30%, or if I'm being precise, 26% loss. In terms of ounces, to get to the point of it, so it's not too mathematical, you lost 7 ounces yesterday, 6.6 to be exact. But yesterday, off one single product, one single night, you lost 6.6 ounces, which represents a retail value of $74.82. So in one night, one product, that's $75 retail, about $13 cost. But that just shows you the power of Wisk, because we did one product, one night. Imagine all these products, imagine a week, imagine a month.
Now we can go back and look to see what's wrong. It's either a pouring issue, is there an inventory issue in the system, is there a recipe issue? It's good that we were able to do it the day after, because we got to get on this right away.
Yeah, it's a lot, and like I said, that's one product. So believe it or not, guys, that was one product, one night, 7 ounces lost from one night, from one product. It's an industry stat, about 20% is lost in bars and restaurants from overpouring, spillage, and theft. It's a lot more common than you think. So obviously, if you want to get control of your bar or your restaurant, you can start using Wisk today.